First, Dr. Afra. This is the 1 in 25 incentive. Definitely a high-grade book. Got this from the Sandsman as well. I believe it's not going to be less than a 9.4 when it comes back. I think it's probably a 9.4 like it is right now. Don't know how much a press is going to help this out. Only because it just looks great as it is, but it's got like little tiny things like that, for example, that a press won't help. See, it's got a little bit of a tick right there, but you can only see, you can't see that like that, right? You can only see it if you're putting like a magnifying glass on it. Back looks phenomenal too. Got to be very careful with it. It has little bit more wear on the back, and maybe that's where the press will affect it. It's towards the middle is when you're going to see the biggest fault. See that right there? The press will help that, and the press will help this. See? Just little things that just reflect really bad on dark colors, especially when you bend it to the light. When you're not bending it to light, can't really notice it too much. But I could see this definitely coming back at a 9.4, which even without the press would be a 9.4. But the reason you do the press is because that could be also a 9.8. Okay, 9.6. Chances are it'll still come back at a 9.4 though, but we're doing the press regardless. We'll see what happens. This is a pretty big book. I might not keep it though, even if it comes at a 9.8. I got to think about it. But still a nice book, and I know somebody else will enjoy it regardless. Trusting the process. So my process also involves working with people, right? Trusting people. Trusting either people that I've worked with before, companies that I've dealt with before, and I've liked their work. The Sandsman and Kendra in this particular project. Actually, these 3 books I'm going to show you. But yeah, trusting the process. Trusting the process. Let's take a look at what Kendra did here. All right, there was a little bit of a crease over here on the right in the middle here. That's pretty much gone. Barely. I mean, I can't even notice it. I hate that freaking light, but the crease that was over here, you could see little remnants of it, but very, very tiny. I'm trying to keep that light off of it. And then the one tick, you can't even notice that one tick anymore. Look at that spine. Can't notice really anything. That tick is there because it was color breaking. It's actually right here. Barely noticeable. Right on the black as well. But the reason it's not noticeable because it was what it bulged into there is gone, right? So, man, again, getting a good presser, man. In the back, you can still see a little bit of right there. See that? Now, that was highly noticeable before, but here, yeah, you could see a little bit of a ripple, but very tiny, and you can't really see a color break. See that? Hence, the 9.8. Trusting the process. Yeah. The reason I buy from the Sandsman and I press with Kendra. Now, it doesn't always go right. 8.0 and a Teen Titans go. Bought it from Sands. Sands said it was very fine near mint. Obviously, maybe not. It had a lot of little issues. This one, and it just didn't make the grade. I think it's a little bit harshly graded. This could have been an 8.5, but look, when you get wins like this, you can take a book like this and say, okay, not so bad. See, that right there has like a little bit of a crease right there that didn't come out. And then it's got something on the staple over here too, right? Which on the red, it looks worse than what it is. It does have another little crease here that didn't really, it doesn't look like it breaks color, but it's actually there. So 8.5 could have been an 8.5. I don't think it would have been a 9.0, but it is what it is. And then this one here, man. Oof. Newsstand, 9.8. Book took a big dive, but it's still a very highly speccable character, right? All 3 books I got from the Sands, man. That's why I buy from them, man, because yeah, you get your losses, but I could accept this because I get this, and I get this a lot from him. So yeah, that's why I'll always buy from this dude, and I'll always press. Well, I think I'll always press with Canada. I think. I'm going to leave you guys with this. So I was having a conversation with a young man at my job that knows that I buy comic books. He was asking me, "Hey, man, what do you think about investing in collectibles, not just in comics," because he likes cards, right? Baseball cards and football cards. So I told him what I tell everybody that asks me that question. Investing in collectibles, I mean, it's a gamble. It really is a gamble. I think investing in general is a gamble, right? No matter what you do, even in the stock market. But I think the stock market is less of a gamble than collectibles are. And the reason is because of history of the S&P. Now, it's more of a gamble if you invest on your lonesome, like picking your own stocks. It's less of a gamble if you go with a big company like a Vanguard, like a Fidelity or a Schwab, a JP Morgan Chase, right? It's a lesser, you take lesser risk if you go with one of their funds that follows the S&P, like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger said, right? Every dollar that you invest in your 20s will probably be worth $88 by the time you go and retire in your 60s. Can you say the same thing about a comic book? Sometimes, yes. But to find that one comic book, yeah, like say a book like this, right? This book was, I think, did it reach $2,000 at one point? It might have. Now it's back to about $1,000 book. When is the time to sell this? This is not the time to sell this. Unfortunately, comics, like the stock market, by the way, they go up and down based on, now, like a lot of it is like movies. Yes, the economy also has something to do with it too, because buying comics is more of a luxury, right? But is it the right time to sell a book like this? No, because there's a Star Wars movie coming out. Mandalorian is going to be coming out. Is Dr. Aphra going to make an appearance there? Will she make an appearance in another Star Wars project? And then that would boost up that book again, right? This character hasn't shown up. I mean, this would be a bad investment for me outright, because it came back as an 8.0 and it's a modern, even though this book is not a common book, but still, we're talking common as far as moderns are concerned, right? This character has yet to appear anywhere, Darkhawk, right? But it still holds value. Used to be about $1,000 book. Now it's back down to like a $400 book in a newsstand. Forget about the the directs. The directs are probably about $150 book in a 9.8. Back in there was a time when I bought the same book from the Sandsman for $100. He said it was a near mint to mint type book, or near mint plus book. Came back at a 9.0. I ended up losing on that. I never showed that book, by the way. But then I bought this book, I think from him. I think I might have bought this for like $50. And look at it. Comes back at a 9.8. So either way, for both buys, I still come out on top. If I sell it today, I'm not going to sell it because I think Darkhawk eventually will make an appearance. And when that does, then this book will go up. So you have to gauge. You have to be wise, because even if you know what you're doing, you can lose money in comics. It's more of a risk, right? When you have companies like Marvel just producing garbage in the MCU, that's just going to pull down the value of your comic books, of your characters. Whereas, say, a company like Image, like, say, Kirkman, for example, right? What he's done with Invincible it's amazing, right? Every time that Invincible, comes out with a series, it just bumps up the books even to higher levels, right? Because his projects are worthwhile. What DC just did with Superman, it kind of gave a boost to the market because it was a good movie. But you have to count on good stuff to bring out more coverage, I guess, into the more awareness of the comic book market, of the in basketball, right? When Michael Jordan came out, when Netflix came out with that Michael Jordan special that they had, it boosted cards at that time, right? Once that kind of died down a little bit, then that market also took a dive, plus the economy got worse, right? And all collectibles took a dive. I think you can make money with comic books. You can make money with collectibles, but you got to really know what you're doing. You got to know what the market is, what people are looking for. And, there's people that make money with slabs. There's people that don't. There's people that just believe in raw books. I don't slab everything. I know it looks like I do. I don't slab everything, but I find that if I have a good book and I can slab a good book, I find that I can get a much better return on it. And yes, sometimes I get burned, but for the most part, I think I do well. All right. And then for the books that I keep, I definitely, because I want to preserve them, I definitely slab them because I believe that the slab preserves them. What? It's not even a belief. It's a fact. The slab does preserve them. PSA is making those slabs. It's actually, they upped their game as far as the way that the slab, I haven't seen one yet, but I've heard that it's twice the weight of a CGC slab, and it's UV resistant. So it's probably a better slab than CGC. It's going to probably force CGC to get better on their slabs, but it's also a more expensive slab. So would I rather have that slab or this slab? So that slab is going to cost me probably about $5 more per book. It all depends. Because if I want to slab a modern book, I'm probably just going to slab it with CGC anyway, because CGC is the number one company in the market, and I think they will remain the number one comic book company in the market. I think PSA will be number 2, and then CBCS, unfortunately, is going to take a big time loss there. But look, I would say if you're young, and I've always said this in my channel, right? Take 10% of the money that you don't need, and you can put it in comic books. And you could put it into something that you like, because more than likely somebody else is going to like it too. Condition is everything. Condition is always everything, man. And this is money that you don't need, but money that you really want to invest. I would invest it in an S&P type account with a big firm, and create, even through your job, a 401, or if not your job, open up like a Roth type account with an S&P type fund, and throw money into it every month, right? And just forget about it. Market goes down, market takes a dive, keep investing. That's actually when you should invest more, believe it or not. When the market takes a freaking dive, you invest more money, right? You zig when they zag. All right. Later, my dudes.